What's up, everyone? Welcome back to our rundown show. Joe and I, we're excited to be here with everyone. We're going to talk about all things in the crypto Web3 industry. We're going to talk meme coins. We're going to talk NFTs. We're going to talk about the macro crypto world. Kicking things off. Joe, how you doing today?
Great, man. I thought it was going to be a boring weekend, but a lot of exciting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And I got a little jammed up there on our intro because I was just thinking about all the things that we have to talk about today. But I want to start sharing with just a little coin market cap recap, just where we're at. And it's exactly what we've been talking about where we've been at, Joe. We've been chopping. And I do think we'll get chopped for a little while as well. But Bitcoin under 100,000, 95,000. Ethereum looks painful right now, down 8% on the week at 2,600. Surprised by that. What's good old Solana at? It's under 200. We've seen a lot of ping pong in between the 180, the 210 zone, and Solana. Really, at the end of the day, I think we're going to chop for a little bit longer. Joe, what are your thoughts about where we are in this macro market right now?
Yeah, macro wise, I still love where we're heading 20 end of 2025 personally. If things hold true, nothing, black swan happening. But this there seems to be a new bear case every week, right? We have a Supreme Court judge declining, or what is it, banning most of Trump's moves. So something, that doesn't derail us. But we'll keep an eye on it. I'm still bullish.
Yeah, I'm super bullish as well, man. To be completely honest with everybody, and I've said this on market updates, I've said this in our newsletters with our private community. There's a lot of reasons to be bullish. Some of the news coming out, I mean, we have such a pro administration right now. For goodness sakes, our president dropped a meme coin. People are calling it crime season as a joke just because everybody and anybody is launching a token right now. And that's good and bad. But overall, the overall general vibe around Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance is as high as ever. And we're getting some huge news out there. I reported in our market update, Joe. I don't know if you saw it, but 22 of 50 states have actually applied for a Bitcoin reserve. That's amazing. If that happened in the last bull cycle, we would have auto printed a new all-time high. Right now, it does feel like we're kind of chopping until that next catalyst. I'm
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna show a little tweet. I love my guy Bob Locust here, and he talks a little bit about a bull case with Bitcoin's 4-year cycle. Personally, I'm not a huge believer in this whole 4-year cycle, especially for this cycle. But long story short, he really just kind of maps out what a 4-year cycle could look like in touching $150,000 plus range for Bitcoin. And Bob's as sharp as anybody in the business, in my opinion. Really love to see him kind of map this out. But even at the end, he kind of talks a little bit about how this isn't a guarantee. He goes, hell no, the last cycle fell short of a final extension. But overall, he does seem bullish, and if you follow the 4-year cycle, we could absolutely be in for less pain and much higher rewards. Something I thought was super interesting, Joe, is that Bitwise reported that 69% of the Bitcoin supply held by individuals as institutions fall behind. Pretty wild number there. That's 69% of Bitcoin's being held by individuals. Am I reading that right?
69% sounds really high. We've heard about the supply crunch coming. The OTC doesn't have enough because the ETFs, we know the inflows of ETFs and outflows, and there's just not enough in the exchanges. So yeah, that definitely seems plausible. 69% does sound really high. That means we should be seeing a supply crunch really soon, right?
Yeah, and I do think we are going to see a supply crunch really soon. And I think the catalyst, what I was just saying before, to get that next leg up, to break out of really to get through like that 115, 120 range, in my opinion. I know we're at 95, but I see some ways where we could kind of chop in between this large range is going to be the Bitcoin reserve, in my opinion. A lot of people have talked about that. I do not think it's priced in. Probably 6 months after Trump's inauguration, what that's going to put us in like midsummer, June or July. Could definitely see some rumblings with price action around that time. A lot of time that news leaks early, so we could probably see some price action in earlier May if we really expect some major announcements in June or July. But personally, I do think we kind of chop through spring and a lot of these majors. Of course, there's going to be major opportunities. We talk about the AI crypto world, we talk about meme coins. It's going to be major opportunity, but we really haven't even seen a proper alt season yet either. And that's something I want to touch on with everybody. I think some of these altcoins could definitely be undervalued at the end of the day. Not financial advice, but a lot of them tell great stories. And you can see that Ripple, Solana, Litecoin, Doge, ETFs highly likely to receive the SEC nod in 2025. This is talking about the bullish news that we're seeing everywhere. Even good old Cardano. I am not a Cardano guy. I'm not an ADA guy. But price surge as Graysale files for its first ever US spot Cardano ETF. Really amazing headlines here. SEC and Binance are putting a 60-day pause on its crypto case. That's going to be more likely thrown out the window. And then to wrap it all up, because we're talking about all these other blockchains, Tyler made a great tweet the other day. Even though we're seeing tons of action on these blockchains, especially Solana, gas fees on Ethereum right now are only 4 cents. That little mind blown emoji is the best. But Joe, kind of, I threw a lot at you there. Everything from, these altcoins and these ETFs all the way to Ethereum kind of lagging behind with their gas fees. What are your thoughts over there in the overall market?
Yeah, we saw a X. I'll pull it up next time where there is a delineation from altcoins to the time where Pump Fund launched, and people call it token fatigue. There's just so much tokens out there that rotating into alts, although it was a priority in previous cycles there wasn't 1,000 meme coins a day. So that's maybe a reason why altcoins are not pumping, but that doesn't mean like altcoins with the ETFs coming is not going to bring a lot of attention, there. I'm hoping it does because my Solana bags will love that. So personally, I'm excited to see, a little bit of rotation once Bitcoin hits that top. But yeah, a lot of it is what we've seen the last few days, few weeks is that Bitcoin is still the Mac Daddy. Wherever it's going, everyone else seems to follow.
Yeah, we need price discovery. We need a surge in Bitcoin. We need that $150,000 range to really get a rotation into altcoins and a new life into meme coins as well. There's always going to be runners in the meme coin world. I think we've established that. The AI sector is really interesting. We're going to talk deeper about that. But right now, Bitcoin dominance is at, I think, like 62%, pretty high mark. And a lot of people have rotated into what they call like the safety assets. Bitcoin, and a lot of stables. But it's interesting that we're rotating into Bitcoin, which at one point people used to laugh at us years ago whenever we said they're like, that's too volatile. Now we're all just rotating into Bitcoin because that feels safe.
Hey, I that's what's holding up my boat right now. So I love Bitcoin. I can't get enough of it. Yeah, I can't wait for that to happen, meaning, we push past the 115 mark and then, everything else should see a rotation in. So right now there's not much rotation. There's nothing to rotate right now.
Yeah, for sure. And Bitcoin's the gold standard out there. But we're going to talk about, and you're going to talk about a very interesting coin that dropped this weekend and had a ton of buzz around it. Joe, why don't you go give the audience a little breakdown of what we saw this weekend?
Yeah, I was going to show something else, but let's go ahead and
Oh,
show that because that's like the headliner, I would say, of this last weekend. And that is none other than Dave Portnoy, I'm sorry. Basically, he didn't launch this token. It's called JailStool, kind of like a joke on him being thrown in jail because he's been talking about launching a meme coin. And he kind of took this underneath his wing, held a lot of supply, held it up to $4 million, did a halftime live spaces on X to promote it, even talked about dumping in $100,000 more. I mean, it's a wild story, and I'm gonna have you talk about it, Brian, because you were the DraftKings guy. Tell us about this.
yeah, Portnoy's an interesting individual. He started off, he figured out how to trade meme coins, what we like to call shit coins, he was calling them, over the past weekend or really late last week. So he's trading these meme coins, and they're not even the ones with like the strong communities with strong market caps that we love and we think are going to thrive in a bull run. These are like micro cap meme coins. And he has 3.5 million followers on Twitter. He essentially would buy a substantial portion of these coins, tweet it out, then dump it literally minutes later. This is all on chain. So it was making people frustrated. Then he would go on to Twitter Spaces, pretty much call everybody in the crypto industry peasants and scam artists and just kind of attacking everybody and saying it's the easiest money he's ever made. So they created the coin JailStool because they're like, you're pumping and dumping on people, you're going to jail. he comes back and he's like, whoever created this coin's pretty funny. He bought a substantial portion. When he bought a portion, obviously all the copy traders followed, pumps the price. The dev sells, leaving Portnoy kind of the majority largest holder. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to dump on you guys. I'm going to carry JailStool through the ashes until we get to a $500 million market cap. Then he made it $1 billion market cap, and it was pumping. We even gave a early trade alert around it whenever it was, well under $100 million, and it pumped all the way to $200 million. So some people in our community definitely made out if they sold at the right times. And he was really embracing it, putting more money into it, made a merch collab of the logo. 100% of the merch that was bought would get pushed into JailStool. Even as of yesterday, I watched him on Davey Day Traders, which is his channel. He was talking about JailStool. This morning, he was talking about JailStool, and he actually made quite a bit of money yesterday. I think it was like a $500,000 trading some other kind of pump and dump coins, and he was taking profits. And I think he bought 60 to $100,000 worth of JailStool today, claiming he's not going to sell till they get a $500 million market cap. And he even just recently said on the Spaces today that if it hits a $3 billion market cap, he's going to throw an entire yacht party for anybody that holds the JailStool token. That's a mouthful there, but you can see how the presence of an individual with so many followers can absolutely move these markets.
Yeah, it's crazy how he went from just, doing pizza reviews to now he's a full-time shitcoin. And the loco Web3 degens, I'm not sure if they're welcome him in with open arms or egging him on or making fun of him, maybe a little bit of everything. But it's not over. Fartnoy came out, right? A little bit soon after that, and that pumped for a little bit. And didn't he sell like close to $1 million worth of Fartnoy?
He sold a lot of his Fartnoy and bought JailStool with most of the profits, or at least a portion of the profits. That was similar. Somebody else made up Fartnoy. He thought it was funny. He tweeted it out. He dumped some tokens later on. But it ran all the way to like a $20 million market cap. I was watching it very closely. I actually posted about it in our Mighty Networks group. I was like, hey, here's another runner of the day. And somebody was like, what are your thoughts on this? And I was like, my thoughts are this is going to probably, not financial advice, but this is probably going to dump. And sure enough, he is literally, people have called this out in a lot of different shows. So this is an original idea for me, but it's a great comparison. It's like that rocket game on DraftKings when you just like have to bail out of the rocket and you get a multiple X. Literally, that's what Portnoy's doing right now. Is he buys a position, you can see what position he buys, then you're just like, when's this dude gonna rug it? When's he gonna dump? And it almost doesn't even make me feel that bad because we all know what we're doing. He knows what he's doing. He's tweeting it out to people. The only problem is he's making this like a real casino game. We call the Solana meme coins a casino game, but there is some real thought behind it. We talk about it, these communities, initiatives, ways that they can get involved. This is legit. Like he buys a microcap, you can catch it early, and you want to hit the eject button before he sells, and you could do well. But it's causing daily runners, it's causing pump and dumps. But he is rolling money back into JailStool. Now, JailStool got absolutely murked. It went from 200 million, I think it's sitting at like a $40 million market cap. But doesn't it have like it's like $3 million in liquidity? So it has a decent amount of liquidity. He's still talking about it, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm really personally buying any JailStool right now, but I could see a path where it pumps and pumps hard. It's just how involved he wants to stay with it.
Yeah, it's only been a few days. I was curious how much longevity it had with his presence, his influence behind it. Little does he know, in the world of, Web3 degen and meme coins, it doesn't last too long, especially in choppy markets. People posting about rotations for less than 2 hours, you got to be in it, right? And then, some saying, oh, for different ones, you could be in longer. But I want to pull up one that's pretty interesting. I don't even know how to pronounce this. You gotta tell me what this one is called. Um, Harry Bowles? Am I
It's
saying that correctly?
it's Harry Balls, I believe, like Harry
All
Balls.
right. Okay, you gotta tell me the story about this one because I know about big balls, right? I don't know about hairy balls. Are we gonna get demonetized? Anyways, someone launched this, and an individual bought, in early and sold $700,000 worth of this. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, it's essentially Elon Musk changed his handle or his name to Harry Balls last
On
night.
X?
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now, but I don't see it up right now. So maybe he changed it back, but he changed his name to Harry Bowles or Harry Balls, whatever we want to call it here. And of course, a meme token was created behind it, and it ran and it ran hard. But it's a daily runner, and again, it's not one that I was involved in or I was even tracking that close. But you can see just how like one slight change can launch a meme coin to hundreds of millions of dollars in market cap.
Yeah, so those are some of the fun plays that happened this weekend. And here's another one that probably a lot of people missed out. And it happened on the Binance Smart Chain. I didn't know there was meme coins on the Binance Smart Chain until CZ basically retweeted what happened was that they were teaching people how to launch meme coins on the Binance platform. It was called forward.meme. And then they launched a token called Test, like testnet or whatever it is, TST. And people started buying it because they thought it was funny. And then CZ, who is a very big influencer, ex CEO of Binance, just said, "Oh, this is funny that people are buying this," and it had the absolute effect that he didn't want to have, and he just kept on writing about this is not a meme coin. And the more he wrote about it, the more it just pumped up. I got in at unfortunately, I got in at $20 million market cap. It ran to $500 million market cap. I didn't think it was going to get. I thought it was already listed on Binance, but it turns out it wasn't listed on Binance. And you talk about crime happening, Brian. There are like people are calling. I mean, it wasn't a crime, but they're like, this is crime because they listed TST, a test token, before they listed, AI tokens that were actually doing things in the real world. It was just so funny. This and it just happened this last weekend, and it brought a lot of life back into the Binance ecosystem. So I'm not sure if you heard about this one, but what's your thoughts on Binance meme coins, Brian?
I don't have a lot of experience in the Binance and meme coin world. I saw the run and I know you mentioned it to me and I was like, man, it's not that was not on my bingo card at that present moment. Not an ecosystem I was really evaluating some meme coins for. But it's interesting how I saw CZ mention that they need to do better job like evaluating listing parameters for meme coins. He's definitely noted that I don't think he said he hasn't bought a meme coin personally, but he noted that that meta that industry is here to stay, but we need better parameters overall.
Yeah, it was just a very interesting story overall of how an ex-CEO with a lot of influence, kind of like Portnoy, kind of like Elon, could really push the market, with accidental tweets and mentions. Here's one with a notable meme, maybe one of the first memes in the world, right? Harold for with the pain meme. Is this his original meme down here? Nope, that's not it. But for those who don't know, Pain is launching a meme coin with Memeland, and they announced an 80% refund back to the holders because $40 million is not needed to launch a meme coin. You can launch a meme coin for free nowadays, and this caused the market to be very bullish on this. A lot of exchanges are starting to list the pre-markets. Before, I never heard of exchanges listing pre-markets. Mex.c, and then we have a notable, well, I wouldn't say notable, where is it? Right here. Gate's a pretty big one, listing a pre-market also. And on these pre-markets, some were trading at 270, 320, topped out a $400 million pre-market. And these pre-markets are pretty accurate if I had to say. For those who have been with us, Magic Eden, the pre-market, was spot on. It was like $3, $2 to $3, and then launched at $2, $3. I'm be very happy if this launched at $400 million. I think you'll be happy too, right, Brian?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. If that's what we catch a launch at, sign me up. They've definitely for the market conditions that Pain token has drove quite a bit of interest, has quite a bit of mind share, and it could be a cook for us, pre-sellers. Who knows? Obviously, with pre-sales, a lot of time the token initially just like dumps right away, but does feel like with their connections with Binance and Meme Land, they're being coached in the right way. I actually watched a video of that Swedish actor about how he got the pain, how he became the pain meme, and how a photographer reached out to him and they were like, "We think you'd be great for this meme," and now he's like internationally famous and becoming crypto famous. So just wild stuff over there. I'm excited to track that token. I do think it has some legs.
Nice. Yeah, we all have a not all, well, we have a position in there. I have a position in there, so I'm excited for Pain. Can you see my screen? It looks like is it showing the B3 token?
No, it just
Yeah.
shows no, it just shows like a web address.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, here we go. Just got to give a shout out to one of our previous podcast guests. B3 is launching, or they did launch a token already, which is a gaming platform on Base, doing a lot of big things there. And we did make this call to our private community, and let's take a look at how it's doing today. Not too shabby, close to all-time highs. It's been out for what, 2 days now? So just an acknowledgement there to Victoria. Victoria, I apologize, I forgot your last name already. Brian, what's Victoria's last name?
Starts with an H, I
Put
remember
you on a
that.
put you on the
Starts with
spot there. Anyways,
starts with an H.
cash that episode. Cash that episode. It's coming out, I think, this week, I think. But anyways, yeah, there are this I wouldn't call it as a meme token, but there are tokens that are running even in this market. In this tough market, we've spotted some pretty big winners, I would like to say.
Yeah, that's an interesting token. I mean, their next Coinbase team, they did a lot of work with Base and Coinbase and their gaming, and they went out and started NPC Labs and B3, doing some great things, and saw that news come across yesterday that that token was launched, and it got listed to Coinbase as well, just a couple hours later. So there's a pretty nice surge there. Personally, I do not have any exposure to that coin, but that's one on my short list of kind of gaming tokens with utility that I really like. And honestly, I was just really impressed by Victoria and the podcast and their vision and their platform that they showed us. So I think it could do very well in the long term.
Nice. Yeah, we I didn't think so that there would be so many winners, but there was like 4 or 5 this last weekend. So good to know. And yeah, tell us about what's happening on in the AI world.
Yeah, let's go on good old cookie.fun and take a look at what we're looking at. We've been crushed over the past couple weeks with DeepSeek, with tariff news, and now we're starting to see a little bit of a bounce back, which is great to hear, great to see. Some of the biggest winners here have been AIXBT, Fartcoin, Virtuals, I believe, is up and Arc, good old Arc, one of my favorite coins out there. But you can see a lot, yeah, Arc's really green over here. And VVV, all past calls within the past couple weeks, and they've seemed to hit their bottom and now have bounced back quite nicely. And taking a look at another tweet by Tyler here, Arc's teasing a new token launchpad mechanism, prioritizing elegance, simplicity, seamless integration versus the conventional, inefficient methods. They're also teasing their first native project to emerge. Notifications on for Arc. I'm a huge fan of the Arc project. I think it's one of the blue chip AI crypto projects out there, and we've seen a very nice bump in price over the past couple days, I should say. I think last week I did a recap within our private community. We're trading right around like 170 to 190 million dollar market cap, and as of today, we hit 340 million dollar market cap and have peeled down a little bit, sitting at 285. So anybody that bottom ticked that, congratulations. Full disclosure, I've bought the ARC token all over the place. I've bought it in the 300 millions. I've bought it into 350 millions. I've bought a substantial amount when it was like 17 or 170 or 180 million dollar market cap. Overall, in a really good position personally on those buys. But I guess the long story short is some of the creams rising to the top in this AI crypto world, and the ones that don't have real utility, real stories, are really getting slaughtered right now. But I love to see teams that, I mean, Arc's a real project. Virtuals is a real project. AI16Z is a real project, real developers. Regardless if we're in a bear or a bull market or the AI crypto market is 4 billion or 40 billion, these teams are still building. They got a lot of money. And I'm a big believer. I think the AI crypto sector for 2025 is going to be one of the biggest sectors in this entire space. But it's we're gonna have our fair share of growing pains.
Yeah, blurring the lines. I wouldn't say blurring the lines. I mean, there's a clear line between meme coins and actual companies and businesses. So it's unfortunate that some of these get blurred into meme coins, like, ARK or even Pengu or Pudgy Penguins, people with actual companies and revenue right now. So I'm not worried about the ones that will come out on top. but it might take some time to get up to the top because they're buried underneath a lot of other things, right?
Yeah, for sure. And we're in a shakeout period a little bit. We're chopping in the macros, so we're in a little bit of a shakeout position. But I see this, and we've talked about this with our private community. I do think some of these blue chip AI projects that are building real team, real vision, real developers are when they're hitting bottom lows. Now it's hard to catch a falling knife. I'm the first one to say, but when I start to see a nice reversal pattern and people are starting to talk about again the kind of it's going to separate themselves. You're going to see clear winners and clear losers at the end of the day. And somebody who is always trying to get his hand into up and coming technologies, he owns Twitter, or I should call it X, is Elon Musk. And right here it says Sam Altman rejects Elon Musk's offer to buy OpenAI control and mocks X. So, long story short, Elon Musk and some other investors brought an unsolicited 97.4 billion with a B dollar bid to buy OpenAI. Interesting story there. And then obviously Sam Altman, who is pretty vocal on X, came back and kind of chirped Elon, said they're not for sale. He's not interested. At the end of the day, I'm not even really sure if that's his call to make. I know he's the CEO, but there might be like some voting or something that has to happen there. Just like turning down a bid for almost $100 billion online is interesting. But we do know Elon Musk is driving forward, trying to build an AI sector with Twitter, with X. What's his motive here with OpenAI and getting control? Just thought it was pretty interesting news because we're seeing big news out there in the AI world.
I have to chuckle because the Super Bowl happened this Sunday, and people call this the Kanye versus who's the other guy? Not Kanye, I'm sorry, Drake versus
Kendrick
help me out here,
Lamar.
Brian.
Kendrick
This
Lamar.
is Drake versus Kanye Lamar for the white people people, and I saw that tweet and I just had to chuckle. But it is right. They're always constantly back and forth. Maybe that's not the good analogy, but yeah, I don't know. Like you love ChatGPT, I love Gemini. With the Google integration, it's a good. I mean, it's interesting to see what's gonna happen, and then China coming out with their stuff. Interesting times, man.
Yeah, it's an AI arms race. Everybody's been saying it. There's a lot of money being donated, or I shouldn't say donated, invested. A lot of money invested in this space for good reason. And I've said it, the reason I'm so bullish on it with crypto is it just integrates. AI integrates so well with crypto. So I'm still keeping my eyes on these projects very closely. I think it's going to do well. And another AI project that everybody's pretty probably f familiar with is Virtual's Protocol. It's now tradable on Solana. And the reason I'm bringing this up, Joe, is it feels like a lot of these base tokens are moving over to Solana. Uh, and Virtuals was like the main AI platform on Base, has very similar story over there. We're big fans of Base, the low transaction fees. It's a good platform, but it's really interesting to me how they're kind of like embracing Solana as well. What are your thoughts on, some of these Base tokens now jumping over to Solana or like on-chain integration?
Yeah, some people liken it to opening franchises in different states or different countries. Just having a presence there makes sense. I don't know in the long term how well, that presence will, benefit that 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 type of, strategy. But a lot of people are doing it now, not only platforms like virtuals, but even meme coins. There's a big news of Dog, which is a meme coin on Runes, looking to launch on Solana. Same thing, right? Launch on Arbitrum, launch on. So I think that's only going to be the normal, I would say. Just getting in front of eyeballs is important. Magic Eden is maybe the pioneer there, right? They're trying to support every single chain out there, and I kind of see that as a norm, and just having place people want to go to their blockchain for anything that's that they like to do, whether it be DeFi, consumer, NFTs, meme coins, and there's something for everybody. So wherever they park their cash, if they have easy access to it, then they're going to deploy it. And I can speak for that. I would not have gotten the test token on Binance unless I had some BNB token. And I had some BNB token, honestly, from back in like 2017. It was like $2 to $3. And, one day I wake up and I'm like, why is it $400? I'm like, Jesus Christ, like what did they do? They launched a smart contract and whatnot. Anyways, long story short, where there's liquidity, people will spend it because what's the other option? It just sit there forever, right? That's kind of my thought. I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do with this Binance token? Or spend it, right? So definitely, I like the move by Virtuals, and I think I hope hopefully every blockchain will just be available for everyone and everywhere.
Yeah, I agree with that. And some of my biggest wins have been just tokens that I've like locked up in staking and just like I can't spend this, and I've come back like a year or two later, and I'm like, all right, like that $1,000 is now worth tens of thousands of dollars. And I've done that again, not financial advice for anybody here, but I did it with my Magic Eden tokens, even knowing that they would get peeled down. And we talked about it. I was like, I'm just gonna lock these tokens up. If not, I'm gonna fire them into, meme coins and have to be very diligent. And I do my fair share of trading in that world. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, I'm just gonna lock these up. I did it with Arrow. I'm a big fan of Arrow and their platform. I locked those up for well over a year. I've talked about that a lot on the platforms, and it's just prevented me from selling them. And there's some of my biggest wins at the end of the day. The last sector I want to talk about in this AI group is something very interesting, Joe, is billionaire Reid Hoffman. He's actually the founder of LinkedIn, and he's mentioned the AI token YNE, and it doubled. So that stands for yes, no, error. It's an agent that's built to review historical research papers for errors. Really interesting. He calls out how this is a potential um, game changer in the space. He's obviously announced his own AI company last month and just talked about how AI agents are the future. This is why I want to kind of endorse to everybody or just beat into everybody that this space, this AI space, is not going anywhere anytime soon. Sure, some of our AI tokens may get hit hard with market corrections, but we have the founder of LinkedIn talking about AI, talking about this token. I did do some digging on this token, Joe. It actually looks a little bit more of a cross between like AI and DeSci, how they're trying to improve science and get better funding and peer reviews. Something that's probably really needed in a lot of different industries. But before I kind of wrap up this AI sector, just wanted to show to everyone that there's big people in this space that aren't in the trenches with us every day, sweating the graphene and the ARC prices, talking about this integration between crypto and AI.
Yeah, and thankfully so, right? A lot of AI right now is geared towards meme coins, but there's a lot of actual use cases for crypto AI. Like everyone wanted, right? Right? Everyone wanted crypto to help efficiency in finance, and now it's breaking into science, right? Like DeSci and Binance just wrote a really good thread on that and solving real issues. So if you had to project end of the year, I would say overall market cap for AI agents or AI platforms or AI in crypto, what would you say it would be? Do you think it's going to dwarf the meme token sector, Brian?
I'm not good question. I do. I do. I don't know. I mean, there's some major meme coins out there, like the Doges, the Pepes, like those aren't going anywhere. I think this is I don't know like actual size to size, but I could see this being a like 50, I've said it on the podcast before, 50 to $100 billion market cap is there's a path to get there. Now we need a lot to happen, but we're only still a few months old in this AI crypto sector. And we need them to evolve farther past just these chatbots that we all thought were great for about, 4 to 6 weeks. Then everyone's like, this is just a chatbot, just like ChatGPT. And there was just a thread I was reading recently that talked about how when agents start to like learn and train themselves and get better, they're going to become more individualistic. There's going to be just higher use cases. And I think the integration with like decentralized finance in AI is going to absolutely be a big sector. And I think that'll pull a little bit of the DeFi money in. I think AI is going to flow in. I think the broader crypto markets get flow in. So very long-winded answer there by me. I do believe the AI crypto market, not only is it more exciting to me, I think it's going to outpace the meme coin growth. With that all being said, there's some absolute cooks in the meme coin world that I'm going to be involved in every single day.
I absolutely agree. The reason I asked that question is because I could be drinking my own Kool-Aid here in San Francisco Bay Area. They talk about AI constantly, and they talk about how Tesla alone is going to account for $10 trillion in the next 10 years in terms of AI and robotics. And they say that's not far-fetched. That's just like 10% of what the overall market could be. And we're talking about a total disruption of everything that we've ever known. It sounds crazy, but AI definitely is a force to be reckoned with. And just one example for the listeners out there, if they made it this far into the rundown, is that I don't think the meme coin world is even, scratched the surface in terms of AI, right? They've launched Fart Coin, they've done some stuff, but when we see like full integration and like adoption in ways that we've never seen with AI, whether it be with DeSci or DeFi, and integrating, I see it absolutely, I wouldn't say obliterating meme coin culture, but absorbed into the AI world. Like I can see AI agents doing some wild stuff with meme coins. Like we're seeing, meme coins being accepted as payments through a Solana kind of like, I wouldn't say incubator, but payment system. You could spend your meme coins, but I can see sometime this year AI just doing something in that nature where it's just gonna, what is it, suck all volume, kind of like what the Trump meme coin did. So scared and excited, for my positions there, but I'm glad you're in there leading us, leading that way, Brian.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's very interesting to me. It's kind of the reason why I got into crypto initially. Like I kind of like flocked to new technology and always have been interested in AI as well outside of crypto. But once these two worlds started colliding and I saw there was a path to make some money, then I started to kind of dig into each one of these protocols and platforms. I'm like, whoa, they're building something really cool. Get a better grasp of what the winners are going to be, what the losers are going to be. And it's something we talk about within our community all the time.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, if you watch to the end here, this is not the most exciting section of our newsletter, but it is exciting for me. So I'm going to talk about it, which is, NFTs, digital assets, OpenSea. If you guys remember them from back in the days, they have teased a lot of airdrops this last year, which has only been a month, but they deny it. They're like, no, we're not doing an airdrop. Although a lot of people has already seen kind of like what their marketing is, and their farming mechanics have been behind the veil. So OpenSea is looking to, try to come back into relevance there. Any thoughts there?
Oh, man, is it too little, too late? I don't even. If there was something with the open sea airdrop, did you see this just the other day that you needed to
Yeah.
fully KYC, you needed to not be a United States resident, you blocked VPNs in case anybody wanted to work around. So people were like, wait a minute, now we got to travel to Mexico to claim our tokens, and then they soon took that down, and it looks like they're revamping it. OpenSea needs to show me something to be excited. I was excited about the mentions of a token, but every time they seem to bring something new out, I'm like highly disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath there, but there's definitely more to the NFT world than OpenSea. Actually, OpenSea is not even relevant anymore, but we should kick him out of our news sections in the future. Beeple, he had previous artwork that unlocked an edition of a Beeple Every Day, which he sold for what, $60 million, something like that. And what's exciting about this is that what artists can unlock in the future, which is what Beeple is just scratching off, is just hidden, Easter eggs and gifts for people. Like imagine artwork holding Bitcoin and someone finding it 10 years later. These are all things that's happening, and people has actually done that where he released one of these artworks. What is it, a year and a half, 2 years ago, Brian? Something like that. And someone just finally cracked the code, right? And they received another free NFT. Do we know how much that's going for or fetching for? How much they won there?
No, I don't know. I don't know much about that. I was interested in this Beeple Easter egg hunt. I posted in our group. I was like, all right, we need to crack the code, everyone. I'm pretty sure someone solved it over the weekend, which is exciting. But it can kind of rally the entire community together to try to crack these codes from artists. A lot of fun.
Yeah, lots of fun. That's why I love NFTs. And, this was a cool one that you sent. I didn't even notice. Luka Doncic, his first Lakers moment being launched as an NFT. So, NFTs are still a big thing in the world. And what's coming back is actually something I didn't realize, which is fidgetals. That used to be a term in 2021. And let me tell you guys, you don't want to spend all your money in fidgetals. I did. My wardrobe is like a Louis Vuitton graveyard, in terms of value, what it was used to be worth. But they're coming back. Van Eck is selling hats called Gold Diggers, integrating it with games where people can mine it. I like it. It's kind of fun. And just to give you an idea of what's happening still, Abstract Socks came out, just this last week. There's 500 pairs, and someone said, "Oh, I got one for $1,500. What a steal!" And the average selling price was $3,000. That one doesn't have an NFC chip. That's just an actual sock. So I guess you did get NFT, with that, and you got a badge of honor. So just interesting stuff. There's a lot of, I would say, not a lot. There's some interesting developments in the world of Bitcoin NFTs happening. Not much more than I would like to see. I would like to see a lot more because there's so much that you can do. Kind of like what Beeple did. Some artists are trying to push the envelope for that, which I did talk about last week, I think. But if not, then I'll mention again next week as there's more progression there. But there, and in the world of NFTs, a lot of people say this. They're like, why would I buy NFTs? Which is like a 2 to 1. You can make 2x versus if I buy meme coins, I can make 1,000x. But I personally I love them still. It's a safer. You believe it or not, it's actually a safer play. What's your thoughts there, Brian?
Yeah, I still love NFTs. I actually bought a parallel avatar. I think it said on this show last week or something for mechanics for their token, thinking that you were going to get rewarded. And actually, Wayfinder made an announcement that you're going to get a badge for your stake prime by holding that avatar. So that's really cool. Where this world of NFTs is can meet the world of gaming and utility. I still love NFTs. I still think they're a ton of fun. Just really exciting times within the space. The only last piece of news I want to bring up about NFTs is I saw Doodles is going to be doing something at NFT Paris, and I think just in a couple days. So when this episode's out, so very interested to see if they launch or make an announcement about a token. I know a couple years ago in NFT NYC, I think I was there. They made some huge announcements. They really like to make these announcements in real life events to kind of celebrate with their community. They've been speculating about a token for quite some time now, and they just made a tweet recently talking about the NFT Paris. So I think all eyes are going to be on the Doodles team in some of those legacy NFTs.
Yeah, NFT Paris is, I'm not sure if is that the only NFT event still kind of thriving and kicking. I know NFT NYC was a big one. You've been to NFT NYC. So yeah, good to see that there's still events and people are launching around those. Definitely we will keep an eye on anything coming out in the world of doodles and anything else in the mean streets of NFTs. But if you guys love all news of where the momentum is going in the markets, we keep an eye on that. We went through a lot today. This is a down market and we got a lot to talk about. And with crime being legal now, I imagine next week is going to be 10 times more exciting. I went in, I took some days off, right? But I really didn't take any days off this last week because I'm like, oh yeah, nothing's going to happen. But oh my God, so much happened in the last 4 to 5 days. So I imagine the same or more is going to happen from, today on to our next rundown.
Yeah, for sure. Every time we do these rundown shows, it's like the weekend. I'm like, I'm not sure if we're gonna have a ton new to talk about other than the price of Bitcoin and the macro news. And then something absolutely ridiculous explodes over the timeline. This weekend it was JailStool. And I'm sure the end of the week into the weekend, there's gonna be something else to talk about. Always fun chatting it up with you, Joe, and hopefully everyone checks out our Momentum Moneymakers page.